Well, we've been in this disruption, this transition long enough now that we're probably pretty aware of what's working, kind of what's not working. We're starting to settle in if we're owners of businesses, companies, leaders of teams, so forth. We're starting to adjust, but we've also been in this long enough that frustration and irritation and anxiety and stress can begin to be mounting as well. And that is certainly true if you're trying to lead through this time of transition. But all of us are probably experiencing a little heightened sense. Now, depending on where you live, you've been under quarantine, shelter in place, stay at home limitations for anywhere from a week to 2 weeks now. And we recently hear that these same restrictions could be around for as much as a month longer. That is going to cause a little anxiety, a little stress to rise up on us. Here's the thing I want to do today. I want to share three simple statements. I'm not trying to oversimplify what we're going through, but what I've discovered is that when I'm already stressed or anxious or trying to figure stuff out, the more complicated things sound, the more difficult it is for me to actually benefit from that. So I want to spare you that today. And I want to just share three simple statements. And I think these three simple statements can help us navigate where we are right now. Okay. So here's the first one. You're not weird. Well, if you're experiencing the things I just described, you're not weird. Now, you might be weird for other reasons, but you're not weird because you have some heightened levels of frustration, irritation, anxiety, or stress. You're not weird. You're normal. That's something that we need to hear right now. It's easy to beat ourselves up. It's easy to begin to feel guilty or whatever the emotions you may be processing, that you're not bucking up and handling this better, right? So I need you to understand that if you're going through this right now as a leader or just as an individual, and you're experiencing heightened levels of anxiety and some frustration about when is this going to end, are we going to ever get through this? That doesn't make you weird, makes you normal. So that's statement number one. You're not weird if you are experiencing these things. Now, it's important how you deal with those things, how you address your frustrations, how you address these emotions, how you deal with the thoughts going through your noggin. You know, while we're in this time of separation, it's important to avoid isolation. So we need safe place to talk about, work through, get our emotions out where we can look at them honestly and objectively, so that we can avoid the negative impact that those things can have on us. Yes, it's normal that we have them. It's how we deal with them that's going to make the difference. If we bottle them up and we feed them and we fuel them, then they're going to explode and they're going to create all kinds of bad situations. So if you're in a situation at home or at work or working from home or homeschooling, whatever you're facing, if you're feeling stressed and anxious and frustrated, you're not weird. You're normal. It's what you do with those feelings that are going to make all the difference. Okay. So find the healthy ways to adjust. Don't let yourself stay isolated. When we're isolated, we get very inner focused. We start filling in the blanks and we can go to some pretty dark places in our brain. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you have these experiences, these emotions, these thoughts, you're not weird. You're normal. But how you deal with them is going to make the difference. Here's the second simple statement. You're not alone. Well, maybe you're in your apartment alone or whatever. What I mean is you're not in this alone. You're not the only one who's experiencing this. No, this is a global issue. And even if you don't think globally, our country from coast to coast is experiencing some level of disruption from the pandemic that we're presently facing. So you're not alone. You haven't been singled out. You're not being picked on. The universe is not ganged up on you to make your life miserable. It's important to balance your perspective with this reality. You're not alone. Now, that's one way to hear that. Here's the other: you're not alone. There are sources for you to tune into that can help you process and deal with the things that you're facing. You can learn from how others are facing the same challenges that you are. You can benefit from that and be encouraged. You can also choose to benefit others, and you can choose to encourage and help. Share the things that are helping you. Find a way, because again, we're separated, but we don't want to be isolated, and it's important for us to stay connected. So find a way to communicate with people and stay connected with your relationships that matter to you. It's important. You're not alone. You've not been singled out. You're not being picked on. You're not being ganged up on. It's not a plot against you. Yeah, we're not alone. And then hear the other side of that. You're not alone. There are sources for you to reach out to. There are ways for you to find encouragement and benefit from the experiences of others, as well as give your experience and help benefit and encourage others. So you're not alone. Number one, you're not weird. You might be weird for other reasons, but not because you're dealing with these emotions I've described. Number two, you're not alone. Here is the third simple statement. You can do this. Yes, you can. If you think back on all the seasons previous to this one, the challenges you faced, if you're listening to this video today, guess what? You made it. You got through it. You survived it. You are still here. Congratulations. And you need to encourage yourself with that reality. You can do this. You can get through this. Now, the choices that you're making right now are going to have a huge role in how you get through this. So it's up to you to decide if you come through this situation bitter or better. Yeah, I know it's a little cliche sounding, but it's the truth. And so I want to share the truth with you. The reality is your choices that you're making right now are going to shape your experience. That is reality. That's truth. That simple statement. Hey, you can do this. You've gotten through difficult and challenging things before, and you can get through this. This is true if you're in business, if you're a leader of a business, organization, company, or a team. And it's true if you're an individual who is an employee who works for a company, or you're self-employed, or whatever your situation. You can do this, and you need to remind yourself you've gotten through challenging things before. You can do it again. But I want to remind you, how you come through this is largely going to be dependent on how you choose to process and deal with the frustrations and anxieties and stresses that these seasons put on us. But you can do this. You need to encourage yourself with that reality. And you can come through this doing more than just hunkering down and trying to survive it. If you pay attention, if you are listening, if you are observant, you can actually learn things that will benefit you in the seasons that are ahead of you. So we can learn things from this. This probably won't be the last time we face something like this. So let's learn the lessons that we can. Trust me, you can do this, and we can get through this together. It's important that we encourage ourselves. Now, some people have all these complicated things and complicated steps. I'm a simple guy. Simple things help me, and then I can think about them. Now, I want to tell you, simple does not mean shallow. Just because these things are simple Doesn't mean they're shallow or they don't have depth, that they don't have meaning that we can expound on. But that's for you to do. I want to share the three simple thoughts with you so that you can then ponder these and think on them and reflect on them. I want to be helpful. I don't want to add to the noise in this season. If I don't have something to say that I think is beneficial, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Now, be honest. Don't you wish more people followed that general rule, especially on social media? Yeah, yeah. If you're just adding to the noise, let's all just settle down and get quiet. But when you have something beneficial to say, express it. And that's why I'm here. If there's a topic or a subject or a question regarding transitions or disruptions that you would like for me to address, leave me a comment. If you feel like this would be helpful to someone else, please share it. And if you want to make sure that you hear all of these things when I share them, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. Then you'll be notified every time I post a video. Thank you so much for listening. Again, the three simple statements. You're not weird, not because you're having stress, anxiety, or frustration. You might be weird for other reasons. So you're not weird. You're not alone. You can do this. Take those three thoughts with you today and be encouraged. We're going to get through this together. Don't isolate while you separate. Let's stay connected.